There's been an evil that's been hiding in plain sight here on YouTube. A popular content creator called Ruby Franke has turned out to be utterly evil, and I'm here with Kim to break it all down for you. Hey up everyone, it's me, Steph the Alternate, your nerdy alternative, filling in for Andy whilst he's in hospital at the moment. An update I can give you guys is that he is currently having his operation. As soon as I'm able to give you any further public updates, I certainly will do. In the meantime though, Andy is the boss and he's telling me the show must go on, so I am here with It's Kim to break down this whole Ruby Franke situation, because I've been reading through all of this stuff and it is scary to the core, Kim. I mean, in a nutshell, we're going to be breaking it down in a moment, but in a nutshell, what's been going on with this Ruby Franke character on YouTube?
I mean, I think Ruby Franke has been a YouTuber for a long time. She had a channel where she followed her family. It was all following her 6 children. It had close to 2.5 million subscribers at one point before she shut it down, rumored because of controversy, because of criticism that she was getting for the treatment of her children. And now we are looking at these arrests of her and her business partner, 6 charges against her, all that have quite a good amount of time that could come with prison. It's a mess. It's a big mess, and the deeper we're going, the more intense it's getting, and it seems like the mainstream media is really picking up on it now. I don't think this story's going away anytime soon.
Yeah, so we're gonna dive into the rabbit hole a little bit here. This is a document that It's Kim has actually drafted up herself, so big major snaps and thanks to It's Kim for this particular document. But yeah, evil hiding in plain sight, Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt. So Ruby Franke was essentially a YouTube mummy vlogger, and she had a business partner called Jodi Hildebrandt. They've both been arrested and charged with 6 counts of felony child physical nastiness, let's put it that way for the YouTube human reviewer. This was all back in late August of this year. They are accused, amongst other things, of hurting and neglecting Franke's 12-year-old son and 10-year-old daughter, who were found at Hildebrandt's home in Utah, the business partner. Now, how this all came about and came to light was the son actually apparently escaped from a window and sought help from a neighbor who actually called the police. The children had wounds from being tied up with ropes and duct tape. They were transported to the hospital for malnourishment treatment. It was also revealed that the children had, I mean, you can read it right here,
Yeah,
but for
it's
YouTube human
awful.
reviewer, I ain't even going to say this. But they
It's
had
terrible.
all sorts of apparently nasty things that were rubbed into their wounds that were not entirely healed. Now, Franke and her husband, Kevin Franke, have 6 children in total, 2 who are of legal age, the 2 who were found injured, and 2 other children who were later found and taken into state custody. The charges against Ruby and Jodi are in connection with the 2 youngest children. I mean, you read this and right off the bat, it's like, this is scary as hell, because when you watched her YouTube and her videos and everything, like, nothing was wrong. Like, on the outside, everything was fine. You couldn't have sniffed anything like this.
At the
For this to
beginning, I would
literally be
say, yeah.
happening right under all of our noses, this is literally evil hiding in plain sight, like in
Mhm.
reality right now.
It is. It's really difficult. I think the next paragraph kind of talks about how there definitely have been concerns, but none of it did we ever think was this severe. Definitely questions about some of her parenting techniques, and there were people that were concerned. But over the past couple of years, it seems like there's been more police involvement. There's been more reports made. There's been petitions. There's been a lot of genuine concern for the well-being of these children. But I don't think any of us expected when that arrest happened at the end of August for things to be as severe as they are looking now.
Yeah, so we've mentioned her YouTube channel. So for those that don't know, it was a family vlog YouTube channel called Eight Passengers, had over 2 million followers before Ruby allegedly chose to actually shut it all down. It's been speculated that this is due to viewers and neighbours who had raised the alarm about the children being mistreated, punished, and isolated by their parents. Apparently, Frankie had faced backlash for making her son sleep on a beanbag for months as a form of discipline and withholding food from her children as punishment. Like, that's not punishment or discipline as far as I'm concerned. That is
No.
downright abuse to the core. Now, at one point, their 14-year-old son was sent to a wilderness therapy boot camp for, quote, troubled teens for 10 weeks. All these situations were used for content and monetized. Now, this is the thing, right? If all these situations are true, in terms of what these children and what the 14-year-old son went through, no wonder he was a freaking troubled teen. He was a troubled teen because of the treatment that he was suffering at the hands from his mum.
I think there's also some things like their definition of troubled teen to me was very much normal teen. Like, I mean, I know not all of us were perfect teenagers by any means, but the stories I have read, I would not have considered some of the people who were sent to this camp to be considered to be trouble. It was a very that in itself was a very controversial issue, and I know we don't have time to get into all of it now, but it was very concerning at the time, and there definitely have been questions about whether or not the situation really called for that type of intervention.
Yeah, especially when she monetized that situation for her own gain, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, by showing it all
Mm.
on her YouTube channel, Eight Passengers. It does call into question whether the 14-year-old was actually a troubled teen or not, based on, her definition of that. Now, this is where Jodi Hildebrandt comes into play now in this document. So, this business partner, Jodi Hildebrandt, is a therapist. She was a mental fitness and relationship expert who, when I read this, I was like, what the hell? What kind of relationship expert
Mhm.
does this? Allegedly would
Yep.
pit spouses against each other and shared confidential information with the Mormon church. That ain't a relationship expert. That is a relationship messer upper, to
Yeah.
say the least. Multiple
Yeah.
people have accused Jodi of ruining their lives, which I'm not surprised if, this is what she would do, allegedly pitting spouses against each other and sharing confidential information with outsiders, i.e., the Mormon church. What the hell, right? Um, so this includes Adam Paul Steed and Jodi's family member Jesse Hildebrandt. They both claim that Hildebrandt's counselling methods were harmful and cult-like. She used isolation, guilt, and shame as tools to manipulate them, and they suffered from emotional trauma and PTSD because of their experiences. Jodi's license was suspended for 18 months due to her unethical treatment of Adam. Jodi has told other clients that this suspension was persecution, and currently Jodi has surrendered her counselling license. Now, this is the thing. Knowing all this basic background information about Jodi Hildebrandt, why would Frankie, with 8 passengers, promoting this, albeit on the surface, healthy, wonderful family kind of image here, be partnering up with a freaking quote relationship expert who actually pitted people against each other and ruined lives rather than enhanced their relationships? That makes zero sense to me. What do you think, Kim?
I think that that is a very loaded question, and it's one that we've been digging into a lot, and that honestly could be a whole video in of itself. But it does look like Jodi Hildebrandt was advising Ruby on parenting as well as also counseling one of her children, at least from what I have seen. So it probably started from a perspective of that they knew each other, they agreed with each other, and as Eight Passengers ended, Ruby went, let's move over to Jodi's company connections and let's do our own thing over there. I don't know the specifics of how it actually happened. This is my speculation, but it does seem like there was an organic growth from her family then to joining into connections. So it seems as though Ruby agrees with a lot of what Jodi is teaching and her methods. And I mean, hence why I think these children were found in Jodi's home. They weren't found in Ruby's house. They were found in Jodi's house in that condition.
Well, the father, Kevin Franke, at the time of Ruby's arrest, hasn't seen his children or hasn't been in the family home for over a year at the direction of frickin' Jodi Hildebrandt. During the last number of years, police and child family services have been contacted with concerns for these children. One of these reports was filed by their daughter, Shari Franke. When Ruby and Jodi were arrested, Shari responded on Instagram saying, finally, police reports were released to the media earlier this week, confirming that as Shari cooperated with police, Kevin, the father, had tried to press charges against her for entering the family home. Police refused, and now, according to Kevin's lawyer, they're trying to repair the relationship. At one of the court hearings that was supposed to be sealed from the public, thank goodness it's not, Ruby and Jodi made horrific allegations against the two youngest Franke children, saying that they were dangerous and should not be around other children. It's like they're demonising the children, whereas they're the actual demons. This information was leaked to the press. There hasn't been much information since due to the nature of the allegations and the legalities surrounding minors. However, Kevin's lawyer's gone into the record saying that Kevin believes his children. The case, as you can imagine, has sparked outrage and shock among the online community, as well as, you know, within the YouTube community, and is calling for more regulation and oversight of YouTube content involving children. I mean, YouTube content involving children at the moment is highly regulated, and there's a lot of rules already surrounding all of that. But my goodness, yeah, if this can still happen underneath our noses, there needs to be tighter controls. As Franke and Hildebrandt await trial, the press has started to report on the case at length. So you've got ABC's Impact Cross Nightline program, which has covered the situation with a 2020 special that's still to come, and it's also appeared in People magazine, and they'll be taking an in-depth look at the situation in their next issue. So this whole situation that's occurred on YouTube is going into the mainstream media now, so more people are going to know about this situation, learn about this situation, and be as shocked and as concerned as all of us in the YouTube community at the moment. But yeah, I mean, really, in terms of final thoughts, Kim, what do you think really is going to happen next in this whole situation?
I think this has been a story that in the beginning we thought that it was just going to be YouTube drama, as much as it was tragic YouTube drama because of how much it involved children, and nobody wants to see kids getting hurt. I don't think anybody expected it to take the turn that it's taken with the involvement of Jodi Hildebrandt. This story has a lot of twists and turns. It's very controversial. It's very interesting, and at points, it's absolutely horrific. Um, and honestly, I think that this is going to take a long time in the courts to be dealt with. And we're going to hear from a lot more people as time goes on about the people that are involved in this story and what has happened here. And hopefully, we can all learn as a society so that we can protect our kids better and things like this won't happen again.
Well, I, for one, certainly believe the children, Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, as far as I'm concerned, can rot in freaking hell. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more updates on this case, then make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn the notification bell to all, like this video, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's in regards to this case, and go one step further and join today. Become a Popcorn Planeteer for as little as $5.99 a month and get exclusive content from the man himself, Andy Signor. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Really appreciate all your faces. And coming up on the screen right now are some videos that you may want to clickety click.